The windshield wipers scrape against ice for the 100th time this morning. My knuckles whiten on the steering wheel as another gust rocks the car. April in New England likes to remind us winter never truly leaves, it just takes brief vacations. The custom lemon lavender cake sits heavy in my lap, protected by both the seat warmer and my thighs. Brooke deserves perfection for her engagement party. She deserves a sister who drives through the storm of the decade to deliver it. She's worth every mile, every hour, every stop to scrape ice from my wipers. She's always been worth it. My phone chirps. The road ahead disappears into white nothingness as I spare a glance at the weather alert. Historic April storm intensifying, all non-essential travel strongly discouraged. 4 a.m. feels like a lifetime ago. I jolted awake before my alarm, already scrolling through weather reports. The meteorologist's grave face filled my screen. This could be the worst April storm we've seen in decades. Please, stay off the roads unless absolutely necessary. I remember snorting at the word necessary. Family is always necessary. The winter emergency kit rattled in my trunk as I left my apartment, checking off the mental list I'd prepared the night before. Flares, blankets, protein bars, extra windshield fluid. Tire chains already installed. The museum's conservation work taught me preparation means survival, whether preserving centuries-old artwork or navigating a blizzard. "You're insane to drive in this," the baker's words echo as I recall her face when I picked up the cake at dawn. She'd taken my $160 with visible reluctance. "Your sister must be something special." My 7th stop to clear the wipers comes at a gas station in Vermont. The wind slices through my coat as I stretch up with the scraper. Each swipe reveals another layer of crystalline white, like peeling away ancient varnish to find the true painting beneath. My conservation training whispers that sometimes the most valuable things require the most delicate touch to preserve. My phone shows 3 unanswered texts to Brooke. "On my way. About 2 hours out. Almost there." The gas station bathroom mirror reflects exhaustion in the shadows under my eyes. I swap snow boots for heels, the fluorescent light casting a sickly glow as I smooth my hair and reapply lipstick. At least the dingy mirror can't show the hope thrumming beneath my fatigue. Hope that this time will be different. This time the effort will matter. My parents' phones go straight to voicemail. "Hi Mom, hi Dad, just letting you know I'm about an hour out. The roads are rough, but I'm being careful. Can't wait to see everyone." The final stretch winds through mountains. Snow transforms the massive estate into something from a fairy tale as it emerges through the white curtain-all stone and soaring windows glowing with warm light. A valet huddles beneath the portico, his eyes widening as I pull up. "Are you with catering?" He peers through my window, clipboard clutched against his chest. "No," I smile, gathering the cake closer. "I'm family, the bride's sister." His eyes drop to the clipboard. Scan, return, scan again. Let me take your keys, ma'am." The entrance hall surrounds me in golden light and murmuring voices. Snow melts from my coat, dripping onto marble floors. The cake weighs heavier with each step toward the main room. Silence falls like another layer of snow as I cross the threshold. Dozens of elegantly dressed guests turn, crystal glasses pausing halfway to lips. I scan the crowd for a familiar face, Mom's carefully maintained silver hair, Dad's tall frame, Brooke's sunny smile. Nothing. Then I see her. My sister stands across the room in a white cocktail dress, champagne flute frozen in midair. Our eyes lock. The glass trembles in her hand. And in that moment, watching shock spread across my sister's face like frost, I realize I've made a terrible mistake. My sister's worth it. She's always been worth it. But maybe I should have asked if I was worth it to her. "You actually came? In this weather?" Brooke's arms barely circle my shoulders, her designer perfume sharp against the melting snow on my coat. She steps back quickly, smoothing her white cocktail dress as if my winter gear might leave a mark. Mother appears behind her, fingers twisting her pearl necklace. "We didn't set a place for you." Her whisper carries across the marble floor like ice cracking. A photographer hovers nearby, his camera lowered, gaze sliding past me as if I'm part of the wallpaper. This is Jenna. Brooks' father pauses, his bow tie perfectly straight against his collar. Older sister. The words fall into silence. Around us, guests lift crystal glasses, murmur polite conversations, existing in a world I apparently don't belong to. I spot place cards at every table, names written in perfect calligraphy. Walking past each setting, my heart sinks lower. Anderson, Blackwood, Caldwell, but only the right Caldwells. Not a single card bears my name. The cake weighs heavier in my arms with each step toward the gift table. My conservation training whispers through muscle memory, steady hands, measured movements. Don't let them see the tremor. A bridesmaid in a champagne-colored dress watches my approach, her lips pursed. Who brought that? Her stage whisper carries. It doesn't match the dessert theme. I arrange the cake with precision, centering it perfectly on the silver tablecloth. My fingers linger on the box, remembering the baker's concerned face. $160 for a cake no one wanted. The metaphor isn't lost on me. Excuse me. My voice sounds distant to my own ears. I need to find the restroom. The estate sprawls like a maze of wealth, each corridor identical in its opulence. Oil paintings watch my retreat, their subjects wearing expressions as practiced as my sister's welcome. My heels click against marble, echoing my heartbeat until my phone buzzes. A group chat notification lights up my screen. I don't recognize the thread name. Brooks' perfect day planning. My number sits there, accidentally included, a digital intruder among familiar names. My thumb hovers. Training in art restoration taught me that sometimes the most devastating discoveries lie beneath the surface. Like pentimento in old paintings, the ghost of original brushstrokes revealing the artist's first truth. I scroll up. Brooks' message from 2 weeks ago fills my screen. She doesn't fit the look. We'll say the list was full. Another message follows. Don't worry, she probably won't make it through the storm anyway. The marble vanity catches me as my knees buckle. My reflection fragments in the ornate mirror, professional makeup, now streaked, carefully styled hair falling loose. The woman staring back looks like someone who just realized she's been rehearsing for a play while everyone else attended the real performance. A wrong turn down a service corridor saves me from returning to the party. Laughter floats through a partially open kitchen door, familiar laughter that once meant safety, sisterhood, home. She drove 10 hours through a blizzard. Brooks' voice slurs slightly, champagne bubbles in her words. For what? A pity cupcake? What if she'd crashed? Another voice, Taryn, Brooks' best friend since college. I'd love the silence and sympathy. Our thoughts and prayers go out. The sound of clinking glasses breaks through their giggles. My hand presses against the wall, steadying myself as the floor seems to tilt. The careful reconstruction I've maintained all these years, every holiday, every birthday, every crisis when Brooke needed McCrumbles like ancient varnish under restoration lights. Honey, are you all right? An older woman in catering black stands nearby, concern etching lines around her eyes. Her hand touches my shoulder, warm through my now cold dress. Come sit. She guides me to a small alcove, produces tissues from her apron pocket. Take a minute. Thank you. The tissue shreds between my fingers. I've catered for this family for years. Her voice carries the weight of long observation. They do this to everyone. Last Christmas, it was their cousin. Summer before that, their aunt. My phone sits heavy in my hand. A conservator's instinct whispers, document the damage, preserve the evidence. Would you? The words stick. Could you record what they're saying? Just for a minute? She nods, understanding lighting her eyes, takes my phone. Returns 3 minutes later. The recording will wait. Right now, my feet carry me back through marble corridors, past oil paintings that no longer judge. My coat slides onto my shoulders like armor. Ma'am? The valet's concern seems genuine as I emerge into the storm. The roads are getting worse. Wind whips snow against my face, but it feels warmer than the chill inside. Some storms you can see coming. The keys settle into my palm. Others blindside you. My car disappears into the white curtain of snow, party lights fading in my rearview mirror. The cake sits abandoned on their silver tablecloth, a $160 testament to a lifetime of showing up for people who never intended to make space for me. The windshield wipers battle fresh snow, marking time like a metronome. Each swipe reveals another foot of road ahead, not the path I drove here on, but the one leading away, leading home. The Starlight Motel's sign flickers against pewter clouds, casting intermittent shadows across my windshield. 20 miles feels both too far and not far enough from the estate. The night clerk barely glances up from his paperback, sliding a brass key across the counter without commenting on my formal dress or smeared mascara. Room 114 welcomes me with dated wallpaper and honest fluorescent light. No pretense here, no carefully curated facade. Just a clean bed and silence broken only by the quiet hum of an aging heater. My heels click against worn linoleum as I cross to the bathroom. The mirror shows a stranger wearing my face, someone who drove through a blizzard to deliver love wrapped in buttercream, only to find herself erased from the guest list of her own sister's celebration. I remove my makeup with mechanical precision, each swipe of the cloth revealing another layer of truth. The emerald dress chosen to complement Brooke's wedding color hangs limply from a plastic hanger, an abandoned dream caught in the yellow bathroom light. My phone sits dark on the nightstand. 67 notifications blink accusingly from its screen. I power it off with deliberate finality, choosing silence over lies. Snow falls steadily outside my window, each flake catching streetlight before dissolving into shadow. The view blurs as memories surface unbidden. 12-year-old. Me pushing 8-year-old Brooke away from a falling branch, earning both a scar and momentary praise. 16-year-old me declining a spring formal invitation to stay home with Brooke during her first heartbreak. 23-year-old me co-signing Brooke's first apartment lease when our parents refused, certain she needed to learn responsibility. A pattern emerges in the falling snow, stark as tire tracks across virgin white. Every sacrifice met with expectation rather than gratitude. Every gesture of protection twisted into proof of my controlling nature. Every achievement diminished to avoid overshadowing Brooke's glow. The first tear falls without permission. I watch it trace my cheek in the window's reflection, no longer bothering to wipe it away. These aren't tears of hurt, those will come later, I suspect. These tears carry the weight of clarity, of seeing decades of careful manipulation laid bare in a single evening. Morning arrives with brutal honesty, sunlight reflecting off fresh snow until the world appears bleached of shadow. I power on my phone, watching it vibrate with accumulated messages. Mom, you embarrassed your sister. How could you? Dad, we expect better from you. Brooke, you ruined everything again. Mom, call me immediately. Dad, your behavior was inexcusable. Brooke, I can't believe you made this about you. 14 missed calls, 23 texts, not one asking if I survived the historic storm, not one concerned whether their firstborn daughter made it safely through treacherous mountain roads. The family narrative spins without my input. I am already cast as the villain in their carefully crafted story. My thumb hovers over Instagram, knowing what I'll find but needing to see it anyway. Brooke's profile loads with professional photos from last night. Sister circles with linked arms, excluding the empty space where I should have stood. Parents beaming at their younger daughter, while champagne flutes catch crystal light. Candid laughter that looks rehearsed. Brooke's caption reads, "Perfect night with everyone who truly matters. Blessed, family first." The words burn like ice against skin. I open my own profile, hand steady as I select 3 photos. The untouched cake on my passenger seat, dawn light catching its delicate piping. My windshield half buried in snow, wipers straining against the storm. A quiet selfie in the motel mirror, emerald dress replaced by an oversized sweater, eyes clear despite smeared mascara. My caption forms without thought. Sometimes you show up for people who wouldn't shovel your name off a sidewalk. The first comment appears within minutes. Susan Mackenzie, our childhood neighbor. This doesn't surprise me. Remember when they forgot to mention your PhD defense at Christmas dinner? More notifications flow in, carrying years of silent observation. You always deserve better than their mind games. They did the same to my brother last Thanksgiving. I've been afraid to say anything. I watched them isolate my cousin the same way, sending love. My phone buzzes with a new voicemail. Mom's voice drips with familiar manipulation. Take down that post immediately. You're embarrassing us all. What will people think? Dad's text follows. This family handles things privately. You've crossed a line. Brooke's messages escalate from, how could you, to, you've ruined everything, to, mom's in tears because of you, to, delete it or don't bother coming to the wedding. The final text arrives from our family group chat. Brunch tomorrow at LeBlanc, 11 a.m. sharp. Be there if you want any chance of fixing this. I type my response with unwavering fingers. I'll be there, and I'll bring receipts. The snow continues falling outside my window, each flake carrying the weight of choice. Stay silent and maintain artificial peace, or speak truth and accept the avalanche? The answer settles like fresh powder, covering old tracks with new possibility. I order coffee from the diner next door, letting steam warm my hands as I watch morning traffic navigate the aftermath of last night's storm. Cars move cautiously, testing the road's intentions before committing to their path. A memory surfaces. Mom teaching Brooke to prepare for family photos, adjusting her smile until it looked candid. Remember, darling, she'd say, the right image matters more than the messy truth. The coffee burns my tongue, its bitter warmth chasing away the last whispers of doubt. Tomorrow's brunch will serve something stronger than French toast and forced smiles. They wanted the perfect family portrait time to show them the unedited film. The bathroom mirror of room 114 reflects a woman I barely recognize. My fingers trace each item laid out on the water-stained counter with the same precision I use handling centuries-old artwork at the museum. The small speaker contains yesterday's truth, preserved like a fly in amber. The gas station receipt marks 497 miles through winter's fury. The cake invoice bears my sister's name and a note that twists in my chest. For Brooke's perfect day. My charcoal gray suit hangs crisp against the peeling wallpaper. No flash, no frills, nothing to distract from the words I'll speak. The watch that was Grandma Catherine's marks each steady breath. She taught me that dignity requires no audience. Table for Caldwell, the hostess announces, leading me into Bellamy's, where Sunday's well-heeled diners pause over eggs Benedict and mimosas. My family clusters at a corner table, their rigid spines a united front. The empty chair might as well wear a target. I remain standing. Jenna. Mother's voice carries that familiar note of steel wrapped in silk. You're making a scene. Sit down. We're here to resolve this quietly. Father's lawyer voice, calibrated for jury manipulation. His fingers drum against the white tablecloth tell I learned to watch for during childhood interrogations. Brooke launches into what must be a rehearsed speech, her hands clasped like a televangelist's. Family chooses love over ego. We can work through this if you'll just... I drove 10 hours through a blizzard. My voice carries across the table, steady as a scalpel. The breakfast crowd's murmur dims. No place setting, no welcome, no concern whether I survived the trip. You're twisting things. Brooke's champagne flute wobbles, sending ripples through her mimosa. Actually, I withdraw the small speaker from my bag. I recorded things. The color drains from Brooke's face as her own voice fills our corner of the restaurant. She drove 10 hours through a blizzard. For what? A pity cupcake? Taryn's cruel laugh follows. What if she'd crashed? I'd love the silence and sympathy. Mother lunges across the table. Turn that off immediately. Her sleeve drags through the hollandaise sauce. You don't get to twist this. Brooke's manicured fingers scrabble for the speaker. The couple at the next table abandons all pretense of not watching. I lift the device just out of reach. You twisted it when you decided humiliation was easier than honesty. My fingers brush the last items in my bag. The gas receipt flutters onto the tablecloth like an autumn leaf. The cake invoice lands beside it, that damning note face up. For Brooke's perfect day. I would have sent the cake with love. The words emerged soft, meant more for myself than them. I just wouldn't have driven through a blizzard to deliver it myself. The floor-to-ceiling windows frame fresh snow falling outside, gentle now, nothing like yesterday's fury. My heels click against marble as I walk away from their narrative, from the desperate scramble of their voices behind me. The hostess catches my eye as I pass. Her weathered face holds a lifetime of Sunday morning dramas. Your car is ready, ma'am. I pause at the doorway, not to look back at my family, but at the empty chair. The ghost of who I used to be hovers there, the good daughter, the reliable sister, the keeper of family peace at any price. She dissolves like snow against a window pane as I step into the winter morning. The steering wheel welcomes my hands like an old friend. Through the windshield, I watch my family burst from the restaurant's doors. Mother's scar streams behind her like a battle flag. Father's face bears the thundercloud scowl that once sent me scrambling for cover. Brooke stands frozen on the steps, mascara creating dark rivers down her cheeks. I start the engine. The heat blows warm against my face, carrying away the last chill of their expectations. Yesterday's blizzard taught me something about survival. Sometimes you have to drive through the storm to find clear skies. Sometimes the road home leads away from the familiar paths. My tires crunch fresh powder as I pull away from the curb. In my rearview mirror, my family shrinks to mere figures in the snow, no longer larger than life. The air in my lungs expands, full and clean, as I navigate toward a future unmarked by their maps. The stoplight ahead glows red. I wait, watching snowflakes dance in my headlights. Each one unique, they say, each one following its own path to earth. The light turns green, and I accelerate into the gentle storm, finally understanding that some bridges burn not to destroy, but to light the way forward. The sunrise paints the highway in shades of amber and rose, a kinder light than yesterday's blinding white. My fingers drum against the steering wheel, no longer fighting ice but keeping time with an old Eagles song. Home stretches ahead, 500 miles of asphalt between me and my own life. My phone buzzes for the 40th time since brunch. The screen lights up with an unfamiliar number, but the voicemail notification shows a name I haven't heard in years. Aunt Lorraine. I pull into a rest stop, park beneath a sprawling oak, and press play. Jenna, honey. Her Louisiana drawl wraps around my name like a warm blanket. That video of you at brunch is making rounds in the family group chat. You didn't just clear your name, you burned the whole script. About time someone did. A pause, then softer. Call me when you came. I've got stories you should hear. 3 more voicemails wait. Cousin David, whose Christmas party invitation mysteriously vanished 2 years ago. Uncle Marcus, who stopped attending family gatherings after what Mom called his embarrassing divorce. Even Brooke's future mother-in-law, asking to postpone their planned dinner until we understand some concerning patterns. The facade crumbles brick by brick. My phone chimes with a text notification. A screenshot from Brooke's engagement announcement post, comments piling up beneath the perfect photo. Wasn't there another sister? Where's Jenna? Didn't she drive through that awful storm? Mom's responses appear and vanish like smoke signals, each deletion feeding the fire of questions. 20 years of carefully curated family photos suddenly reveal their empty spaces: the missing sister, the absent cousins, the uninvited aunt. The truth spreads like springtime thaw. My key turns in my apartment lock at sunset. The space welcomes me with Silencino expectations, no performance, no need to measure every word against its potential impact. Just walls that hold my choices, my taste, my truth. The family photos lining my hallway catch the dying light. I lift each frame, studying the frozen smiles, the careful poses, the invisible strings of obligation holding everything in place. One by one, they come down. Not all of them, The candid shot of Grandma teaching me to bake stays. The faded Polaroid dad pushing my first bicycle. The blurry Christmas morning when Brooke and I wore matching pajamas before comparison poisoned everything. These memories weren't staged for social media, they hold real warmth. I sleep without setting an alarm, without checking my phone, without rehearsing responses to accusations that haven't arrived. The morning brings no guilt, no knot in my stomach, no compulsion to smooth ruffled feathers or translate hurt into more palatable portions. Peace tastes like possibility. Weeks pass in a blur of ordinary moments made extraordinary by their simplicity. I drink coffee while it's hot. I leave work on time. I say no to things I don't want to do. The world doesn't end. Then a letter arrives, thick cream envelope, formal letterhead, handwriting I don't recognize. Dear Jenna, we've never officially met, though I've heard about you for years, always in fragments, always with qualifications. I'm writing because I need to understand the family I'm planning to marry into. Brooke and I are in counseling. The things she's starting to admit about your family's dynamics have shaken both of us. The Storm story was just the catalyst. There's so much beneath the surface. I keep asking myself, if they could erase a sister so completely, what else could they justify? I don't expect you to fix this. You've already done the hardest part, showing us the truth. With respect, James. I fold the letter carefully, smoothing each crease. My response takes 3 drafts. James, thank you for reaching out. The family you're seeing now is the family that exists, not better or worse than the picture they presented, just real. More hope for healing than perfect ever did. Whatever you and Brooke decide, I respect your journey to truth. Wishing you clarity. Jenna. The call comes on a Tuesday evening, a month after brunch. I almost don't answer. The number isn't saved in my phone anymore. But something in me recognizes the timing. Some storms arrive right on schedule. Jenna? Brooke's voice cracks like thin ice. I need to tell you something. I sit on my windowsill, watching pigeons scatter across power lines. I'm listening. I was jealous. The words tumble out, raw and unpracticed. God, I've been jealous for so long, I forgot how to be anything else. You were always so complete. Like you knew who you were. Mom and Dad pushed us together, then pulled us apart, and I didn't invite you because I was scared. Of what? Of standing next to you? Of everyone seeing you and wondering why they settled for me instead? A shaky breath. The storm thing that was just proof. Who drives through a blizzard for someone who didn't even want them there? Only you. Always you. The pigeons resettle, ruffle feathers, find new positions. You could have told me. Would it have changed anything? Yes. The simplicity surprises us both. I would have sent the cake, but I wouldn't have driven through the storm to deliver it myself. Silence stretches between us, lighter than before. I started therapy, Brooke's voice steadies. Actual therapy, not just counseling with James. There's a lot to unpack. Good. The word comes without barbs, without hidden hooks. That's the most human thing you've said to me in years. Can we? She stops, recalibrates. I know I can't ask for anything, but if there's ever a chance. I'm open to a relationship, I tell her. Just not the one we had before. That one costs too much. The pigeons take flight, a sudden rush of wings against the darkening sky. Something shifts in their absence, a weight lifting, a door closing, a window opening. Some storms clean the air. The autumn sun streams through my living room windows, catching dust motes that dance above the potted ferns. 6 months ago, these walls were the sage green paint my mother selected. Now, the walls glow terracotta, warming the space like a perpetual sunset. My guests sprawl across secondhand furniture, chosen for comfort rather than coordinated perfection. Pass the bread, art goddess. Rachel extends grabby fingers toward the sourdough loaf, and I slide the cutting board her way. She's been calling me that since I salvaged her great-grandmother's wedding portrait from water damage last spring. Still can't believe you managed to save those colors. Mark raises his wineglass in a mock toast. To Jenna, preserver of memories worth keeping. The empty chair at my table catches the light. I used to fill every seat, cramming in bodies to avoid the appearance of absence. Now that single open space reminds me that choices matter more than capacity. Laughter bubbles up from my chest, unrehearsed and unfettered by the constant mental editing that ruled my life 6 months ago. These people know my story. They witnessed my undoing and rebuilding. They bring casseroles when I'm sick and tell me hard truths when I need them. My phone buzzes. Mom's latest text glows on the screen. Thanksgiving plans discussion needed. Traditional family dinner at 4. Brooke and Thomas confirmed. Your chair will be waiting. The old Jenna would have responded instantly, fingers flying to type. Of course, wouldn't miss it. That Jenna would have canceled her plans with friends who actually wanted her there, would have driven 10 hours to sit in a chair that felt more like a witness stand than a seat at a family table. I set the phone aside and spear a roasted carrot. The text can wait until tomorrow. My therapist Julie calls this living at my own tempo. The journal on my desk holds 6 months of weekly sessions, pages filled with the gradual untangling of obligation from love. You know what this sauce needs? Mark sniffs his plate with exaggerated concentration. A little more garlic. Everything needs more garlic in your world. Rachel throws a dinner roll at his head. He catches it one-handed and takes a huge bite. The timer chimes from my kitchen. Hold that thought about the garlic revolution. I slide my chair back, bare feet silent on hardwood floors that no longer need to amplify my presence. The scent of lemon cake fills the kitchen. Simple. Classic. No lavender this time. No desperate attempt to prove my worth through complicated recipes. Just butter, sugar, flour, and zest, combined with the precision my conservation work taught me to value. Last week's conversation with Brooke plays in my mind as I test the cake with a toothpick. Her voice carried a new toneless polish, more rust. I started seeing Dr. Harrison. She's helping me understand why we... The silence stretched between us, heavy with unspoken recognition. It's hard, Jenna. Looking at yourself without the filter. Yes, I'd answered. Not rushing to smooth over her discomfort. Not offering absolution she hasn't earned. Just witnessing her first stumbling steps toward honesty. The cake releases from the pan with a satisfying whoosh. No elaborate decorations needed. No message to prove. Just the quiet pleasure of creation for its own sake. Dad still won't take my calls. Mom alternates between guilt trips and passive-aggressive hints about reconciliation on her terms. But last Sunday, my cousin Sarah called. I've been watching, she said. The way you stood up spoke truth. I need to learn how. Her voice cracked. They're trying to plan my wedding. Making the same old choices. Writing the same old stories. The words flowed from my lips, carrying the weight of hard-won wisdom. Your worth isn't measured by their recognition. We talked for 2 hours. Now we meet weekly on video chat, a small circle of truth-tellers growing among the family ruins. Aunt Linda joined last session. Even Uncle Paul messaged yesterday, asking for the link. The cake cools on my counter as my friend's laughter drifts in from the dining room. Through my kitchen window, the first snow of the season begins to fall. Fat, lazy flakes, nothing like the blizzard that changed everything 6 months ago. My reflection shivers in the glass of double exposure of who I was and who I'm becoming. The woman who drove through a storm to deliver perfection now bakes simply for the joy of it. The girl who spent decades polishing family mirrors now lets her own light warm these walls. White powder dusts the fire escape outside. My hands remember the weight of that lavender lemon cake, the burning cold of the steering wheel. But tonight, my palms cradle a simple white cake, unadorned and honest. In the quiet of my kitchen, I cut the first piece. The knife slides through butter-yellow crumb, releasing more citrus brightness into the air. This slice belongs to no one but me. I lift the fork to my lips, close my eyes, and taste peace. It turns out peace doesn't need anyone's permission to arrive. It comes in small moments, saying no to guilt-wrapped invitations, speaking truth without searching faces for approval, choosing what to preserve and what to let crumble. Jenna, Rachel's voice carries from the dining room. If you're having a profound moment of self-discovery in there, that's fine, but we're starving for dessert. A laugh rises from my belly, real and unrestrained. Coming. I slice more pieces, arrange them on my grandmother's old plates. And Mark, before you say it, no, the cake doesn't need more garlic. Their groans and chuckles wrap around me like a quilt as I carry the plates out. The empty chair at my table catches the last light of day, holding space for possibilities I'm finally ready to welcome.